Millions of stars placed in the sky by one God. Millions of us lift up our eyes to one God. So many children calling to him by many a different name. One God, loving each the same. Many the paths, all of us pray to one God. Many the paths winding their way to one God. Brothers and sisters, there are no strangers after her work is done. For your God and my God are one God. So many children calling out loud by many a different name. One God, loving each the same. Many the ways all of us pray to one God. Many the paths winding their way to one God. Brothers and sisters, there are no strangers after the world was done. For our God, yes, your God and my God are one.
Thank you to our very own and very beautiful Michelle Zawasta. Thank you for your love and your energy and your light. I asked Michelle what she wanted me to share with all of you, and she just kind of looked at me and said, just tell everybody I love them. So Michelle loves you and me and all of us, and that she's grateful to be here and to share her love. Welcome to the light and the love that is Unity of South Sound. My name is David Sandell-Hill, and it's my honor to welcome you to our Sunday morning celebration service. We hold that you're not here by accident today, but by divine appointment. Unity provides a positive path for spiritual living. We teach inspiring practical spirituality, something you will experience in each Sunday lesson to enhance your personal journey of spiritual unfoldment. If you have any questions, concerns, or joys to share, please contact our office or visit our website at www.unityofsouthsound.org. At this time, we also invite you to put your cell phones in airplane mode. Now I invite you to relax, reconnect, and center into the truth of who we are. Will you please join me in our opening affirmation? There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe: God, goodness, omnipotence. And our mission statement: Inspired by the divine as an inclusive spiritual community, we explore and express our highest potential. And our vision statement, present and centered in divine love, we co-create a peaceful and awakened world. And our core values, we are love, joy, abundance, and spirit-guided. And I'd like to invite Imam Jamal Rahman will lead us in an opening prayer.
First, light the candle.
Yes.
Just press the on. Okay. Ah, it worked. Wonderful. So, my friends, I would love to do a prayer from the Quran, the first chapter of the Quran, and the good news is it's very short. So I'd like you to join me by chanting H-U, who. You're familiar with Aum or Om from the Eastern traditions. So this is the equivalent of that in the Islamic spiritual tradition. So I will guide you. So use the word, say the word, who. Give it voice and keep going. Who, and keep on going. Who, keep on going. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم الصراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. And just essentially, this is a prayer to God. Oh Allah, you're the God of all of humanity. Please support and guide all of humanity straight to you. Thank you.
We want to take a moment to thank all of you who may be joining us here for the first time, online or in person. Thank you for sharing your consciousness and your love with us. If you're here in person, we invite you to pick up a welcome packet at one of our information tables, which contains helpful information about our ministry. We also encourage you to sign our guest book so we know who you are. We affirm and trust that people who come to Unity will feel at home, and as we engage in getting to know each other, we will see you here again. Wherever you are in your spiritual journey of faith, we welcome you here, for we honor and respect the choices your soul makes on its spiritual journey. Now to all of our newcomers and live streamers and friends joining us this morning, we want to share our Unity blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. And now I invite you, if you're able, to stand and join with our song leaders, Sue Clemens and Annie Lane, and Michelle, if she wants to, as we sing our congregational song.
Everything without ever
greeting, please take a brief moment to greet those around you with the Namaste community greeting, and especially take a moment to reach out to someone you haven't met. If you're not a hugger, give a Namaste bow, or reach out and shake someone's hand. To all present, Namaste, I behold the divinity you are. Namaste. Namaste.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there, peace is there, truth is there, God is there.
Today's spiritual reading comes from, hang on a second. I'll let you know where it comes from as soon as I find it again. There it is. It comes from the internet. How's that? Because I can't read the thing down there at the bottom. So it's called The Barbershop, and I do know that the author is unknown, but we are so grateful for them. The Barbershop. A man went to a barbershop to have his hair cut and his beard trimmed. As the barber began to work, they began to have a good conversation and talked about so many things and various subjects. When they eventually touched on the subject of God, the barber said, "I don't believe that God exists." "Why do you say that?" asked the customer. "Well, you just have to go out on the street to realize that God doesn't exist. Tell me, if God exists, would there be so many sick people? Would there be abandoned children? If God existed, there would neither be suffering nor pain. I can't imagine a loving God that would allow all these things." The customer thought for a moment but didn't respond because he didn't want to start an argument. The barber finished his job and the customer left the shop. Just after he left the barber shop, he saw a man in the street with long, stringy, dirty hair and an untrimmed beard. He looked dirty and unkempt. The customer returned back to and entered the barber shop again, and he said to the barber, "You know what? Barbers do not exist." "How can you say that?" asked the surprised barber. "I'm here, and I'm a barber, and I just worked on you." "No," the customer exclaimed. "Barbers don't exist, because if they did, there would be no people with dirty long hair and untrimmed beards like that man outside." "Ah, but barbers do exist. That's what happens when people do come to me." "Exactly," affirmed the customer. "That's the point. God too does exist. Because people do not look to God for help is why there's so much pain and suffering in the world." And now I'd invite Imam Jamal back to lead us in a time of meditation.
Okay, my dear friends, let's, as you sit comfortably, close your eyes. And then focus on your nostril and simply be present with the breath as you inhale and as you exhale. Just this much. Mindfulness of the in-breath and the out-breath. With every in-breath, out-breath, feeling a sense of calmness, tranquility, deep relaxation, only because you allow it. And now, letting go of this, eyes still closed, please focus on your physical heart, because our heart has been yearning, thirsting to connect with us. If it works for you, put one hand over the heart, and the other hand on top of that, if you like. But feel the heart, connect with the heart. Feel the heartbeat, the rhythm, the beat of the heart. So many traditions say spirit, God, divinity is the heartbeat within the heartbeat. And then, through the heart, please listen to this beautiful revelation that came to the Prophet Muhammad in a dream, where spirit, God, divinity, says to each one of us, "Beloved one," says God, "I cannot be contained in the space of the earth. I cannot be contained in the space of the heavens, but I can be contained in the space of the pure, loving heart." Just be with that mystery that divinity is outside of us, but also inside of us, inside the innermost chambers of the heart. And now, here's the crux of the meditation. To spirit belong the most beautiful names. The space of the heart is actually infinite, boundless. Divine heart is inside human heart. Just be with that mystery. Divine heart is inside human heart. The space is infinite. And the sages say a wonderful meditation is to plant words of beauty inside this boundless space. Words like, "I love you," but with feeling, sincerity. If that feels awkward, please help me to love you. You can continue with words like, "Please help me, I need help. I surrender to you." You can go on. "Thank you, I am so grateful. I am so grateful." And add any other words you want to that resonates for you, that splashes in your heart, as it were. "I love you. Please help me to love you. Please help me. Thank you. I am so grateful." You can say it again and again and again and again. You can never overdo this. I love you. Please help me to love you. Please help me. I need help. I surrender to you. Thank you. I am so grateful. As you keep saying these words, or any other words, a most beautiful divine vibration is going from the tongue into the mouth, even deeper into the throat, even deeper into the chest, even deeper into the heart, even deeper into what is called the hidden, and then deep into the hidden of the hidden, astonishingly, amazingly, blessing us, loving us, healing us, empowering us. And now stop saying anything at all, become very still, present with the heart. I'll do a spiritual chant from Sufism, which is the spiritual core of Islam. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. And gently open your eyes. Thank you.
Thank you, Imam. And like he said, divine heart in human heart. I'm grateful to be here and share my love, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you and your expression, your unique expression of divine. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I've seen love come and I've seen love walk away. So many questions, will anybody stay? It's been a hard year, so many nights in tears, all of the darkness trying to fight my fears. Alone, so long, alone. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. I'd probably fall off the edge. I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go. So keep me held in your hands. I've started breathing, the weight is lifted here. With you it's easy, my head is finally clear. There's nothing missing when you are by my side. I took the long road, but now I realize with you, I'm home. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. I'd probably fall off the edge. I don't know where keep me held in your hands. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. I'd probably fall off the edge. I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go. So keep me held in your hands. You're my safe place, my hideaway. You're my anchor, my saving grace. You're my constant, my steadiness. You're my shelter, my oxygen. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. Thank God I do. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. I'd probably fall off the edge. I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go. So keep me held in your hands. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. Thank God I do.
Thank you, Michelle. That felt like an extended meditation. Beautiful song, and just in the movement of love and the enlightenment of love. You know, we can spend so much of our time and our energy in this world that we live in. We see hate all around us, and if people can hate for no reason, then why can we not love for no reason? It is my honor and my privilege to welcome our guest speaker today, Imam Jamal Rahman. He is a popular speaker and author of numerous books on Islam, Sufi spirituality, and interfaith relations. Since the event of 9/11, Jamal has been working with a pastor and a rabbi, and they are known as the Interfaith Amigos. They travel the country sharing a message of inclusivity and have been featured in the New York Times, CBS News, BBC, and various NPR programs. Jamal is co-founder and Muslim Sufi Imam at Interfaith Community Sanctuary and adjunct faculty at Seattle University. He travels nationally and internationally, presenting at retreats and workshops. Jamal's passions lie in interfaith community building and activism. Please help me welcome Imam Jamal Rahman.
I don't see a clock ahead. And I think I must have said this last time too. I always make the same joke. I am from the East, and from the East, people like me speak and speak and speak till somebody starts to snore. But I will take my watch off here and mark the time. Okay, so my friend, the topic I've chosen is a very ambitious topic about insights and maybe even some practices from three wonderful traditions: Taoism, Buddhism, and Islam, the spiritual side of Islam. And I realized, whoa, that's a large topic. That's why I brought some notes so I don't go over. Okay, let me mark my time here. So the first one is Taoism. Taoism is just to let you know, like Buddhism, it's a 6th century religion, BCE, before the birth of Christ. In fact, 6 centuries before the birth of Christ was an amazing time. Why? Who lived at that time? 6 centuries before Christ, peace be upon him. The Buddha, Confucius, and the founder of Taoism, which I'm going to speak about, Lao Tzu. Amazing time. So what can I share about Taoism? You know, they don't talk about God, but the Tao, that's a great mystery. Like we say, God, divinity, spirit. So if you read a small book called Tao Te Ching, anybody read the book Tao Te Ching? Oh, wonderful. Okay. It has, some says it has sold more than any other books. We don't know. But a very popular book, Tao Te Ching. In that it says about God, about the Tao, though if you know God, if you say I know God, those who say do not know. And those who know do not say. By the way, I'm going to mix in Islamic spirituality. I love the work of Jalaluddin Rumi. Who's heard of Rumi? 13th century sage Rumi. Okay, many of you have. So Rumi, when he's talking about God, he says, sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment. Sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment. There's a wonderful verse in Tao Te Ching that says something about how critical it is to simply be immersed in that sense of awe and wonder. The writing is, when people lose their sense of awe and wonder, when people lose this sense of awe and wonder, that is when they turn to religion, to the institution of religion. When people no longer trust themselves, when people no longer trust themselves, that is when they begin to depend on authorities, pundits, experts. So just be with that. Just be with that for a few moments. So in Taoism, if you ask, what do they say about how can you connect with the Tao, with divinity, with spirit, with God? Again, Tao Te Ching. Purify yourself. It's a very subjective word. Purify yourself. Bide in silence. Purify yourself, bide in silence, and the spirit of the Tao will make its home in you. Purify yourself, bide in silence, and the spirit of the Tao will make its home in you. Now, in addition to purifying, or as a part of purification, Tao Te Ching says the biggest problem human beings have, they just don't know when to stop. They overdo. And they give a lot of examples. Like, for example, if you stretch a bow to shoot the arrow, you stretch the bow or bow, it'll go further and further the arrow, but if you keep on stretching, you overdo it, it'll break. Sharpen a knife. It becomes sharper, 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 sharper. If you don't stop, it'll break. If I'm overly ambitious, always standing on my toes, trying to be superior to others, I'll stumble and fall. So ask yourself, in my life, in what areas, what aspects of my life am I overdoing it? Then Tao Te Ching says, every tradition says, if you really want the Tao to make its home in you, minimize conflict and friction. Minimize. Of course we'll have conflict. Of course we'll have friction. Minimize. Don't get enmeshed in trivialities and dramas, melodramas, gossips. Minimize that. And if you do all of that, purify, not overdoing it, minimizing conflicts, friction, bide in silence, Tao Te Ching says you'll be gifted with something called Wu Wei. W-U-W-E-I, Wu Wei. What is Wu Wei? It's hard to describe. It's a precious suppleness. It's a sense of freedom. It's where my private will, my conscious effort gives way to a larger will, a larger consciousness. I am guided. I'll palpably feel that nurturance, that protection, and that guidance. Rumi says it's like an eagle or a falcon has landed on your shoulder. You feel it. a very famous Taoist whose name is Chuang Tzu, talks about this story. He says, I know of a butcher who has a cleaver that he has not sharpened for 20 years. But when he cuts the bones of oxen, that cleaver finds the empty spaces between the bones. The empty spaces between the bones, because he has wu wei. If I have wu wei, when I have problems, I will not run into walls, literally or metaphorically. Wu wei will help me find the empty spaces because I have wu wei. One more point before I move on to Buddhism. Flexibility. Now here's an Islamic verse about flexibility, my favorite. Blessed are the flexible. Blessed are the flexible because they will never be bent out of shape. Blessed are the flexible, for they will never be bent out of shape. So let me mix this up with Confucianism, because I love this story from Confucius. You know, Confucius in his time, he had some disciples who were actually superior in many ways to him. And people would say, but why is it that you're Confucius, but you have disciples who are superior to you in some way? He said, yes, let me tell you why. He said, for example, this disciple is so eloquent, far more eloquent than I am, far more eloquent, but doesn't know when to give a simple yes or no for an answer. This disciple is so courageous, far more courageous than I am, but does not know when to be cautious. The third one, I'll give you a third one. Third one is so regal, dignified, princely, but doesn't know when to be unassuming, humble, invisible. So just be with it. Can I be flexible? Okay, time has passed. Let me go on to Buddhism now. So how can I sum up Buddhism? There's a true story where somebody asked the Buddha, Lord Buddha, are you a god? Are you a saint? Are you a wizard? And the Buddha simply answered, no, I am just awake. What awakened the Buddha? You know, he saw 4 passing sights when he was a very sheltered, protected prince in his kingdom. He never was allowed to go outside the city gates, but he did with his charioteer named Charaka. And for the first time he saw an old man. Another night he saw a person who was sick, diseased. The third passing sight was a corpse, and he had never seen a dead person before. And he was shocked. And the fourth passing sight was he met a monk who had equanimity, calmness. But a question arose in his mind. The question was, why would a mother want to give birth to a child? Why would a mother want to give birth to a child who would inevitably grow old, become sick, and die? Why? And the question haunted him. Gave up his kingdom. For 7 years, wandered all the places in India to talk to all these famous gurus and pandits. No answer. He never was satisfied till he sat down under that famous Bodhi tree, the fig tree, which still exists. And finally the answers came from within him. From that comes the 4 noble truths and the Eightfold Path. So for me, my question to you is, did you have a question in your life, at any stage of your life, that really impacted you, changed you, opened you up, awakened you? Just be with it for a few moments. So like every other tradition, they talk about it endlessly, that this is a world of opposites. Long is defined by short, high by low. There is joys in life, but inevitably there's going to be sorrows. That's the first noble truth of Buddhism. Yes, Jamal, can you accept the fact, the inevitable fact, there is going to be suffering in your life? Can I accept it? It doesn't mean that I get myself enmeshed in it, but it is going to happen. Have any of you read that book by Desmond Tutu and Dalai Lama, The Book of Joy? Oh, great, one of you have. Some of you have. One of the main themes of the book is, Jamal, the way you respond to the inevitable suffering in your life is what shapes your character and sculpts the destiny of your life. How do you deal with suffering? Just ask yourself, how do I respond to it? You see this wonderful Islamic saying, don't run towards suffering, just don't run away from it. So another very important point in Buddhism is attachment. The cause of suffering, says the Buddha from his meditations, from all his traveling all over India, meeting all these teachers, is the cause of suffering is our attachment to that of the created world. Money, power, physical beauty. So I'll give you an example. This young lady came to me and was saying, well, she was not young at that time. She says, when I was young, I was very beautiful, and I became attached to it. That became my identity, forgetting that everything in the created world changes. When I changed, then she suddenly realized, who am I? If my only attachment is money, like all the sages say, if you circle money, you'll be bought and sold. If you circle a ruby mine, you become a ruby. So when things of the created world, as they are inevitably bound to change, and I'm overly attached to it, then what happens? That is when I suffer. Just be with that for a few moments. Okay, very important point in Buddhism, my thoughts. If you read a book, small book again, like Tao Te Ching called Dhammapada, Sayings of the Buddha says, we are what we think. We are what we think. Everything that we are arises with our thoughts. Speak and act with a pure mind, and happiness follows you like the wheel follows the ox and cart. Speak and act with an impure mind, and sorrow follows you like your shadow. We are what we think. Okay, I love stories, I love metaphors. So here's a story of two monks. It's a windy evening. The wind is blowing and the banner, a flag is fluttering, and one monk says, the wind is moving. The other monk says, you're wrong. The flag, the banner is moving. They go to a higher monk. Says, which one is correct? And that higher monk says, the mind is moving. Okay, another very famous story. I'll be surprised if you haven't heard this. Two monks on a journey, is metaphorical, journey of life, and they come across a stream, body of water. They can cross it, but their clothes will get wet. And they find this beautiful lady on the bank with a most expensive silken dress, and she begs the monks, this is a very expensive dress. Can you please just pick me up, carry me over so I don't soil my clothes, and drop me on the other side? One monk immediately picks her up and drops her there, and they continue on the journey. But the other monk starts saying, brother monk, don't we have vows of chastity? You touched a woman. How could you have done that? You touched a woman. The other monk doesn't say anything. Again, brother, how could you have done that? We have vows of chastity. Happens a third time. How could you have done that? You have broken your vows of chastity. Finally, other monk speaks up and says, brother, you're right. I did pick her up, and I dropped her on the other side, but you are still carrying her. The mind. The mind. Okay, I'm debating whether to tell this story or not because it's, I'll skip that story. But I'm let me go to the next subject, very critical in Buddhism, is mindfulness. I know you've heard this many times. Be mindful. Be present. What is the problem about not being present? I am diverted, fragmented by regret of the past, or by an anxiety about the future. You know, so it's very important you find ways to be in the present moment. The Buddha was asked, what do you do to be in the present moment? He says, for me, there are many techniques, but for me, I close my eyes, if it's for a few seconds, for half an hour or an hour, I focus on my nostrils and I'm just present with my breath. And that brings me back in the present moment. But there are hundreds of ways to be in the present moment. You decide what fits your personality. I like to do self-talk. Come on, Brother Jamal, come on, be in the present moment. A Sufi is a son of the present moment. Boom, I come back. It's okay to go in the past. I've got to learn from my past mistakes. It's okay to go in the future. I've got a plan for the future. The question is when I keep flitting unconsciously. So a simple method is, if I'm going in the past or future, talk to yourself. Brother Jamal, I give you permission. I give you permission to go and learn from the past. And set a time limit. I do this quite often. I worry too much about the future. Brother Jamal, I notice you're worrying so much about the future. I tell you what, I give you 20 minutes. Worry as much as you want to. Worry, 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 worry. When 20 minutes is over, come back in the present moment. So I want to give you a Muslim poetry by Hafiz, 14th century Hafiz. I know some of you must have heard of Hafiz, very famous poet. He says, what do sad people have in common? Well, they have made a shrine to a regret of the past. They have built a shrine to the regret of the past, and they keep going there again and again and again and again, and they do a strange wail and worship. What do happy people have in common? What do happy people have in common? Well, they have stopped being so religious like that. So think about it. Do you keep going back to a regret of the past? Again and again and again? Or to an anxiety about the future unconsciously? Like this is still summer. Summer is summer. Summer is not post-spring, nor is it pre-fall. It is just summer. Can I be in the present moment? Ooh. Okay, let me let go of this and just touch upon Islam. Let me just tell two stories. And the story is really about, people don't know this, even Muslims don't know this. The word Islam means to surrender in peace. But what are you surrendering? You're surrendering your attachment to your ego, says the Quran. You're surrendering your attachment to your ego so that, as the Quran says, you can bring a heart turned in devotion to God. This is very, shall I say, hard, inner, inconvenient work. I'd rather tell you how to do it than do it myself. So most of us avoid this. So even though Islam means this, it doesn't mean Muslims are practicing it. It doesn't mean non-Muslims are practicing it. So here's a true story, or a famous story of a very wonderful 8th, 9th century female sage named Rabia. Very beloved female saint in Islam. And she's very beautiful. She was very beautiful. And there was another very great spiritual master named Hassan of Basra, always wanted to marry her. And she would say, I'm already married. And he would say, no, you're not married. She says, yes, I'm married to God. I'm already married to God. So one day, she was sitting in this beautiful garden, beautiful lake out there, walls, outside is a bazaar. And she and Hassan, the man's name is Hassan of Basra, who's a great spiritual teacher. They talking about wonderful spiritual issues. And then it's prayer time. So Hassan of Basra, the man who's trying to impress Rabia, he picks up his prayer rug, goes to the lake, and he puts it on the water, and amazingly, the prayer rug floats. And he stands on it. And he says, Rabia, join me in prayer here. What does Rabia do? She spreads out her prayer rug, sits on it, and amazingly, it levitates. And she goes higher than him and says, Hassan, join me up here. Then she gives this famous lesson, which is talked about in Islamic spiritual circle. She says, Hassan, what you did, a fish can do. What I did, a fly can do. But you know what the real work is? To become a better, more developed human being. That's the hardest work. And that's why we are here. And by the way, she said, I've levitated high enough so the people outside the wall can see us, and they're going to gasp at this amazing ability we have. Is that what you want? That people just gasp at our magical powers? The real magical power comes when I do the work of transforming my ego from a commanding master into a personal assistant. When I purify my heart, polish my heart, so I can bring a heart that reflects the face of Allah in it. And when I open my heart, when I, with compassion for myself, embrace not only my joys, also my sorrows of life, my heart breaks open, but it creates an inner spaciousness, so much more space for joy to flow in. Don't run towards pain and suffering, just don't run away from it when it happens. Khalil Gibran, who wrote the book, The Prophet, he says, the more that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy it can contain. Again, don't run towards pain and suffering, just don't run away from it. I'm smiling because, oh my God, I have 10 points here, only did one. So I will just do one more, just one more. I'll end with that. Maybe I'll talk about, beg your pardon? We're not sleeping. Oh, you're not sleeping, okay. But don't you have a time limit? I must finish by maybe just 2-3 more minutes, is that okay? Or? Yeah, okay. The power of prayer. The power of supplication. Oh God, please, I want, please, I want this, or for my loved ones, she's sick or he is sick. Please do something, God. So Islamic mystics say, what really works in supplication, in prayer, is do it with what is called increased necessity. Not just as a ritual, oh God, please do this, it'll be very nice of you. I really want that. There has to be fervency, there has to be passion, there has to be tears, because it's coming from the depth inside me with increased necessity. Rumi says, have you not noticed that only when a baby is born does the mother's chest become filled with milk? Because there is an increased necessity for it. Pray with increased necessity. And by the way, why do we have to pray so many times? You see, Muslims pray 5 times or at least 3 times a day, not because it's a punishment, pray, because the goal of prayer is to keep me as much as possible in a prayerful state throughout the day. Whether it's through supplication, whether it's through remembrance, repeating a mantra, oh Jesus, I love you, Jesus, I love you, Jesus, I love you. When I praise God, God doesn't become holy, I become holy. So when I have a prayerful technique where I remember God. The Islamic saying is, oh God, I remembered you so much, that little by little you arrived, and little by little I departed. I become prayerful. And then gratitude, that's a form of prayer. Oh God, thank you. The Quran says, everything which exists upon this earth extols the limitless glory of God. Even stones are praising God. That bench there is praising God. You know, Pythagoras, a Greek philosopher, he said, what is a stone? He's a mathematician, he's a scientist, Pythagoras. He said, stone is nothing more than frozen music. It's all vibrations. So when I'm expressing gratitude and everything around me is actually praising God, my soul is praising God, what happens? I join a cosmic chorus and my being becomes exalted, uplifted, praising, expressing gratitude all the time. And maybe I'll end with this story, which you have heard, but it bears repeating. The mullah has lost his donkey. That's a big deal in that part of the world. It's his source of livelihood, his friend. The entire village tries to find the donkey. The donkey is lost forever. They come in the evening to give mullah the bad news. Mullah, your donkey is lost forever. But where's the mullah? He's in the town square on his knees saying, Allah, thank you. You're so great. I'm so grateful. Mullah, you haven't heard the bad news. Your donkey is lost forever. He says, I know, but I'm so grateful because imagine what could have happened to me if I was on the donkey. And what is this about? It's about the fact that, and this is in every tradition, if I'm continuously giving thanks to God, even in times of affliction, I'm giving thanks for unknown blessings already on their way. This is a core part of Native American tradition in America. So I keep saying I'm going to end. So I'll definitely end now with a saying of the Prophet Muhammad who said, Jamal, when you arrived here from the invisible world, everybody around you was laughing and smiling, but you are crying and weeping. Live such a life that when you depart, everybody around you is crying and weeping, but you are laughing and smiling. I wish for you and for myself this kind of life. Thank you. Thank you.
My spiritual journey has taken me at one point to the Methodist faith. And at one point during your speech, during your talk, you said, a simple method is. And I thought you said a simple Methodist. And I was like, oh, I'm back in the conversation. It's interesting also how Spirit kind of guides us, and in my meditation and trying to find something to speak on for the inspirational message, I came across the two monks story, and I was like, oh, I'll share that. And then something just said, no, go this way. And now I know why. So thank you. And I just want to say to you, Imam, we honor your giftedness and your teaching. Thank you so much for being here and being with us today. I feel like I've been in a swimming pool filled with wisdom. So thank you.
Very gracious.
At this time, we would like to invite our ushers forward to prepare for our love offering and to invite Michelle back up to prepare for her next song. This is the time in our service where we have the opportunity to share our financial blessings with this community in demonstration of the prosperity law of giving and receiving. There are many ways to do so. You can go to our website and click the donate button to discover the many easy ways you can easily and securely give. We encourage you to consider setting up your consistent intentional giving as a monthly or weekly automatic gift so it will never be missed. Contact our office if you have questions on how. If you intend to give here in person this morning, there is an offering envelope in the back of your pew for your convenience. Please drop your envelope or your gift into the offering plate as it's passed down your row. If you've signed up to send a recurring gift to Unity of South Sound, we invite you to place the green blessing card that is in the holder in front of your seat onto the offering plate as it goes by. This offers you a tangible representation of your recurring donation to Unity of South Sound, so you may consciously join us in blessing your gift. Whichever way you offer your financial blessings, we hold these gifts in this moment in our hands and in our hearts, and we affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving, and we are truly blessed. Amen.
Before I start here, I just want to say this is a sing-along song. So we'll get started, and the first chorus we'll go through, you'll know it. Sue's going to come up. There's 4 times that the chorus runs. Me first, and everybody join in. Me and Cerny, actually. Cerny's beautiful harmony. But just join us, and let's lift our voices and spread this message out, our energy out, right? So here we go. Walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart could understand that love and only love can join the tribes of men. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize it begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? When we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything. Keep believing in the power. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Yes, yes, I do. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Thank you all.
Time for some announcements. We have our current evening event highlights to share with you this morning. Note you can keep up to date on all of our Sunday services and events by subscribing to our weekly newsletter, the E-Blast. You can subscribe on our website events page or in person on Sunday. Know that all your information will be safe and secure on our site and will never be shared. A new member class. A two-part Unity Basics class will be offered Sundays after service September 15th and September 22nd from 11:30 to 1 in the Fireside Room. This course will be facilitated by Reverend Megan and offered in a love offering basis. Everyone is welcome and encouraged to attend this informative study and also serves as a voting membership prerequisite class. Have you ever wondered what Unity is about, who we are, where we came from, what we believe, and what our core teachings are? This class will answer those questions and more, as well as what it takes to become an active voting member and what being a voting member offers to you in return. If you're ready to take the next step in joining our ministry, you will not only be approved to vote for important ministry business at our annual meeting each year, but also be offered the opportunity to have one of our prayer chaplains assigned to make a prayer call to hold your prayer intentions with you each month. Sign up in our information table in Wesley Hall or online through the link provided on the weekly e-blast and on our website. You will also find our membership application form here today. Email Reverend Megan with questions at minister@unityofsouthsound.org. Our next new membership installation ceremony will be held on Sunday, September 29th during our morning service. We would love to welcome you into membership in 2024. World Day of Prayer. Coming up this Thursday, September 12th, Unity Worldwide Ministries presents our annual World Day of Prayer event, available online at 4 p.m., with an opening ceremony in the evening of Wednesday, September 11th at 3 p.m. This year's affirmation is, "Fueled by faith, I can move mountains." To receive online access, register to participate through the link provided on your e-blast from last week. Unity of South Sound will also be presenting an in-person interfaith prayer service led by our prayer chaplain starting at 7 p.m. on Thursday, September 12th. A prayer request form is available through our e-blast here in person. Please join us in consciousness through the power of prayer with people around the globe. Save the date. Our 9-hour overnight prayer novena, October 4th from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m., October 5th. Here in person, and our annual Youth Pancake Brunch fundraiser on October 6th after the service. More details to come next week. Seeking donations for our upcoming silent auction. We are now actively seeking donations to enhance our fall silent auction prosperity funding event to be held downstairs in our banquet hall on October 26th. Our Dine Dance silent auction gala theme is You Among the Stars. Auction donation forms are available in Wesley Hall at our Faith in Action event table today or downloadable on our website. We especially would love to receive donations for large ticket items such as travel, timeshare getaways, event tickets, health and wellness services, gift certificates, artwork, or specialty items to support reaching our goal of $30,000 to prosper the Unity of South Sound community. A few gift baskets can be accepted as raffle prizes during our gala. Remember to return completed forms no later than October 20th. Email the office if you have questions at office@unityofsouthsound.org. Event details and ticket info to be shared soon. Okay, I'm going to give up. A lot of reading. Circle of Friends, calling all women in unity for a fun and uplifting afternoon with the Women's Circle of Friends coming up next Saturday, September 14th from noon to 6. We'll be gathering at the home of Julie Webb for a potluck picnic in her lovely backyard. It's the perfect chance to reconnect with old friends, make new friends, savor delicious food, and take a peaceful walk through Julie's labyrinth. Bring a lawn chair and a dish to share. Everything else will be provided. We'll also have refreshing iced tea and lemon water to keep you cool. Just a heads up, parking is limited, so we encourage you to carpool if possible. Sign up here in person today after our service by contacting the office at unityofsouthsound.org. The event address will be provided to you once you have signed up. The Circle of Friends women can't wait to see you there. 2024 Faith in Action book study starting. October 6th through November 17th, our 7-week fall book study groups will be held in person or over Zoom. Based on the book, This Life is Yours. Discover Your Power, Claim Your Wholeness, Heal Your Life by Linda Martella Whitsitt and her daughter Alicia Whitsitt. See our special Faith in Action event table at Wesley Hall or on our website to sign up for the group day, time and location that works best for you. We have 7 different groups to choose from. The link to download the Practical Study Guide booklet will be provided through our e-blast or on our website. We will have a few printed copies of the Practical Study Guide booklet available, as well as some copies of the required book for sale Sundays until sold out. The book is available to order through Amazon.com. All information is provided on our website and through our weekly e-blast. Ask Jennifer Richardson at the event table if you have any questions. Whew! It's a lot of info. Now let's bless our youth. Okay, and now let's bless these God lights. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. Parents, if you have any young children, come on up and take them by the hand. And for the rest of us, before we close with our prayer of protection and peace song, we invite you to join us in Wesley Hall for some connection and refreshments immediately after our service ends. Don't forget to check out our information tables with all the opportunities for engagement within Unity of South Sound. Now let's stand if you're able and hold hands high as we affirm our prayer for protection, leading into singing our peace song, sending peace out into the entire world. Our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. We got it. We got it. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moments now. With every breath I take, let this be my joy and sound. To take each moment and live each moment in peace and harmony. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Thank you all for joining us today. Don't forget to join us in Wesley Hall over here. We'll see you next week. God bless.